All right, let's set a scene, because I know this feeling is universal. It's maybe the 12th of the month. You got paid on the 1st. You've accounted for the big stuff. Rent went through. Utilities are covered. And you're feeling, reasonably okay. You're standing in line at the grocery store. Maybe you're just grabbing lunch, or you're checking out of an online cart. You go to tap your card, or you hit confirm order.
Yeah.
Then there's that awful pause. The little screen takes that extra second. It's buffering, it's processing. And then it hits you, that flash of red, the subtle denied or the dreaded transaction declined. And instantly your face gets hot. You tell the person behind the counter, silly me, wrong card. But inside, your stomach just drops. You're not just embarrassed, you're panicking, because you're thinking, how is this possible? I literally just got my paycheck. Where in the world did my money go?
That moment, that internal moment of panic and shame, we all know it. It's that feeling where your paycheck, which felt so solid just 10 days ago, has seemingly evaporated into thin air. And what makes it so confusing is you haven't done anything extravagant. You're not buying luxury cars, you're not flying first class to Bali, you're just paying bills and existing. Yet by week 2 or 3, you're already feeling that suffocating financial anxiety.
Exactly. And the most frustrating part is when you open your banking app to try and solve the mystery, and all you see is this terrifying scroll of anonymous small charges. $9.99, $4.99, $12.99, $3.27, $18.50. You just stare at this cascade of microtransactions, feel a wave of overwhelm wash over you.
And you close the app.
And you just close the app.
Yeah.
Because tackling it feels like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon.
And that's the precise trap. What's often killing the budget isn't the big, obvious rock expenses. It's the tiny, silent money leaks. They're so small they don't even register as a decision in the moment. But they add up relentlessly, quietly draining the account until you hit that dreaded declined screen.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today, we are focusing on that exact financial frustration. That feeling of, I swear I don't spend that much, so why am I always this close to zero? Our mission for this deep dive is to expose those sneaky, quiet areas where money slips away. Those forgotten subscriptions, hidden fees, the cost of convenience, and those small daily purchases. We want to find the collective total because that's where the power lies. And we are not here to shame you for enjoying your morning coffee or for needing takeout after a stressful week. The goal is the opposite. We want to find the money you didn't even realize you were missing so you can redirect it toward things that actually bring you value or, frankly, just give you some breathing room. To help us on this financial detective mission, we have a certified financial counselor and budgeting coach. She specializes in helping people who are just tired of overdraft fees and exhausted by the feeling that money just happens to them.
It's a pleasure to be here. And I have to admit, helping people find lost money is probably my favorite thing in the world. It's like a treasure hunt, but the treasure is financial peace.
I really appreciate that enthusiasm, because for most of us, looking at our bank statement feels like the opposite of a treasure hunt. It feels more like homework we failed.
It does. And I was once the listener you were describing. I mean, in my early 20s, I was the queen of feeling financially clueless.
Yeah.
I'd get paid on Friday, feel like a millionaire for about 3 hours.
Yes.
And by Tuesday, I'd be staring at $37 left in my account. And I had all the common excuses. I don't buy anything big, or I'm just living. Yeah. It wasn't until I was forced to comb through my statements that I realized I was paying for 2 gym memberships I didn't use, 3 $35 overdraft fees a month, and an average of $8 a day on gas station snacks and convenience store runs.
That is a perfect encapsulation of the problem. It's the silent part of the silent leak that is so effective. It's not loud enough to feel painful in the moment, so it bypasses our conscious decision-making, but the cumulative total is loud enough to cause serious panic.
Exactly. And that's what we need to turn up the volume on today.
Okay, let's start with the root cause of that emotional hook we just talked about, that mid-month panic. When someone first comes to you and describes this feeling that they're working hard, but the money is just gone, what's the first thing you address?
I address the underlying confusion and the shame. Usually, the listener feels like they have a character flaw. They'll say something like, I swear I'm not spending extravagantly, so I must just be bad with money. And that is the very first belief we have to dismantle.
So it's not a character flaw. What is it then?
It's a systems flaw. Most of the time, the struggle isn't about moral failure. It's about money moving in a way that is intentionally, obscured from view. Think about how modern commerce is set up. Auto pay, subscriptions, one-click ordering, saved credit card details, easy app access. These systems are explicitly designed to make spending frictionless. They remove that decision-making step that forces us to pause.
That's a really powerful point. If the system is designed to remove friction, then the default state is money leaking quietly because we have to actively choose to stop the flow.
Precisely. If you had to log in, physically enter a card number, and reconfirm an address every single time you bought something, you'd spend less because of the cognitive effort involved. When spending becomes invisible and effortless, we just lose our awareness. We talk a lot about the big rocks, rent, mortgage, car payments, student loans, and those are visible and heavy. But there's this whole other layer of silent money leaks, these tiny repeated charges and habits that erode your foundation without you even noticing until the whole building starts shaking.
Let's clearly define what we mean by a silent money leak for everyone listening right now.
In simple terms, a silent money leak is any financial obligation or habit where money is leaving your account regularly, and one of three things is true. First, you don't notice it. Second, you don't actually use or care about what you're paying for. Or third, the cost far outweighs the actual value you're receiving. It's the accumulation of these small, seemingly insignificant decisions that were made months or even years ago and are now just on autopilot.
And the power of these leaks isn't the individual charge, it's the collective impact. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. One $4 ATM fee, no big deal. But three $4 ATM fees a month, plus a $12.99 app subscription, plus a forgotten $7.99 news membership, plus three spontaneous $15 food delivery service charges. Suddenly, that's over $100 a month. That $100 isn't, changing your life, but finding it and redirecting it absolutely can.
I want to revisit your analogy about the jar and the holes, because I think it really helps reframe the mindset.
Right. So imagine your monthly income is a jar of water you're trying to fill. The big rocks rent, utility bills, those are the things you put in the jar first. They take up the most space and they're visible. The silent leaks are these tiny, often invisible holes drilled all around the bottom of the jar, and the water is constantly trickling out. You keep pouring in your paycheck, but the level never seems to rise because you're losing volume in the background.
And the crucial mindset shift is, you don't need a bigger jar to stop the loss. You just need to find the holes and plug them. That shifts the focus from, I have to earn more, to, I have to stop losing what I already have.
Exactly. Curiosity over shame. We aren't looking to punish ourselves for these leaks. We are simply looking for operational efficiencies. We are financial detectives trying to understand the topography of our own spending.
So when you put on your detective hat and you look at a typical stressed bank account, what are the four most common culprits you identify?
They almost always fall into four primary categories, though most people have a mix of all of them. First, unused or forgotten subscriptions and memberships. That's the autopay model's primary weapon. Second, banking and payment fees. This is money paid for nothing, just pure penalties. Third, delivery and convenience markups. The really high cost of choosing ease over planning. And fourth, little daily spending or micro spends that aggregate unexpectedly, often fueled by stress or hunger.
That covers the landscape pretty well.
Yeah.
But I know when we start talking about cutting back, there's always listener resistance, that little internal voice that says, if I plug these leaks, am I just going to live a miserable, no fun life? We have to address that fear directly.
We absolutely do. And here's the core distinction. We are separating intentional spending from leaks. Intentional spending is anything you purchase consciously that aligns with your values, brings you genuine joy, and fits within your overall plan. If you budget for and truly love your weekly yoga class, that's intentional spending.
A leak, on the other hand.
A leak is money going toward things you don't even use, you don't remember buying, or that are actively stealing from your future self. We are not eliminating pleasure, we are eliminating waste, so you have more resources for your intentional spending. If we free up $100 by canceling 2 forgotten apps and reducing fees, you can now use that $100 to increase your contribution to the intentional parts of your life, like affording that coffee ritual guilt-free or saving for a bigger goal.
So it's about alignment. Stop funding the things you hate or ignore and start funding the things that matter.
That makes so much sense. All right, let's dig into the mechanics of these 4 silent culprits, starting with what feels like the biggest one right now. Subscriptions and memberships. This category is just massive because we don't subscribe to just media anymore.
Exactly. The subscription economy has completely exploded. We're paying for streaming platforms, and nobody has just one anymore.
Right.
Music, specialized cloud storage, news site paywalls, monthly digital apps for meditation or fitness, gaming passes, digital tools for work. Companies price these at $5.99, $7.99, $14.99, because they know that threshold feels psychologically insignificant.
It feels like an allowance, not a bill. But if you have 7 or 8 of those, you're easily looking at over $80 a month, maybe more, before you even realize it. And that's the insidious part. We've normalized having 8 separate entities automatically pulling money from our accounts every single month. When I work with clients, the first question is always, how many of these did you actively use this month? And the answer is often, 3 or 4. The rest were just ghost charges.
Let's talk about a client scenario to bring this to life. Can you tell us about Alex?
Alex was typical, highly stressed, felt like he was always broke despite a decent job. When we audited his statements, his recurring subscription total was about $115 per month. This included 3 video streaming services, one for movies, one for sports, one for general TV to music platforms, a meditation app he signed up for during a stressful week that he hadn't opened in over a year.
Oh, wow.
A professional networking tool he meant to use, and 2 tiers of cloud storage, one for his work computer, and a personal one he totally forgot about.
That's a lot of separate monthly financial relationships. What's the breakdown of use versus cost?
The usage was shocking, really. He genuinely loved one streaming service and used it every night. He used his primary music app daily. The rest. He used the sports streaming service maybe once every 3 months during peak season, and the meditation and professional apps were entirely unused for months. His second cloud storage plan was completely redundant.
So $115 was flowing out, but maybe only $40 worth was actually bringing him real value.
Precisely. The fix wasn't punitive at all. We kept the loved streaming service, the core music app, and we consolidated his cloud storage. We canceled the meditation app, the networking tool, and the second and third streaming platforms. That freed up $65 a month instantly, which is $780 a year. Alex's reaction wasn't sadness over losing a service. It was disbelief that he'd been letting $65 just vanish into the digital ether for things he didn't even care about.
That is such a powerful example of finding breathing room without any real sacrifice. Okay, let's transition to the next painful category: banking and payment fees. These are just penalties, right? Money paid purely for existing in a system that benefits from your missteps.
Yes, and this is where the conversation shifts from sort of behavioral leaks to structural leaks. Fees are the system taking advantage of human error. We're talking about overdraft fees, non-sufficient funds fees, minimum balance penalties, out-of-network ATM fees, and late fees on credit cards or those buy now, pay later services. The total cost of these fees to the average struggling American household is staggering.
And what makes overdraft fees especially harsh is the banking practice around transactions. Could you elaborate on that a bit?
Absolutely. This is a nuance that you really need to understand. Many banks, though regulations are improving, have historically made money by reordering your transactions. You might make 5 small purchases, $5, $10, $15, $8, $12, and then one large payment, say $150. That takes your account into the negative. Instead of processing them chronologically, banks sometimes process the largest transaction first, which maximizes the number of subsequent small transactions that then trigger individual overdraft fees.
Wait, so that $150 charge triggers the overdraft, and then those 4 small purchases that followed it, the cup of coffee, the snack, they each get their own $35 fee because the account is already negative.
That is exactly how it has often worked. A single trip into the negative could turn $35 into $140 worth of fees almost instantly. I have seen clients who were losing $90 to $120 a month purely in these structured fees. That's hundreds of dollars a year paid for nothing by the people who can least afford the penalty.
That's an infuriating system. And understanding that structure is crucial because it makes it clear this isn't a personal failure, but a design flaw working against the user.
Let's move to the cost of ease. Delivery and convenience markups. This is the cost of paying to outsource cooking, driving, and planning.
This category has just ballooned since the pandemic. People are exhausted, and convenience is so seductive. We're talking about food delivery and grocery delivery, which involve multiple layers of leakage, the base delivery fee, the service fee, which can be 10 to 20% of the subtotal,
right,
the tip, and critically, the hidden in-app markup, where the menu price itself is often higher than if you walked into the restaurant.
So that $20 dinner you mentioned in the intro could easily become $38 or $40.
Easily. If someone orders just 3 times a week, maybe lunch twice and dinner once at that elevated price point, they are spending an extra $180 to $250 a month just for the convenience margin, not including the food cost itself. Give us the case study of the nurse. This sounds like the perfect example of convenience driven by necessity and just exhaustion.
The nurse was working 12-hour shifts. When she got home, she had zero mental bandwidth left for cooking. She felt this deep guilt because she knew she was ordering takeout too often, but the alternative just felt impossible. Our audit showed she was spending approximately $450 a month on delivery and takeout.
$450? Wow, that's almost a car payment for a lot of people.
It's massive, and we approached this with compassion. We acknowledged the exhaustion was real. The solution wasn't start cooking elaborate gourmet meals.
Right.
The solution was smart substitution. We calculated that she could keep one planned delivery night per week, which was a true guilt-free treat. For the other nights, she was wiped. She started stocking up on high-quality, pre-made, easy heat-and-eat meals from the grocery store.
That sounds like a really effective swap.
It was. By keeping the planned treat night and swapping the rest for quick grocery meals that required zero prep, she cut her takeout spending to about $160 a month. She reduced the leak by almost $300 a month, maintained her convenience level when she needed it most, and felt less guilt because she was spending intentionally.
That distinction, autopilot convenience versus intentional convenience, is so key. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Micro-spending habits. The tiny day-to-day purchases that feel like nothing.
Microspending is the accumulation of these low-friction, high-frequency purchases. It's the coffee runs, the vending machine drops, the gas station grab, the impulse item at the checkout line, or the stress-induced online purchase that you barely remember clicking on.
But I'm sure people listening are thinking, but it's only $5.
And that's the danger. It's $5 3 times a day, maybe $15 on average. That means $105 a week, which is over $400 a month. People who swear they don't buy anything large often find that their microspends rival their rent.
Tell us about the teacher, because that sounds like a job that generates a lot of high microspend stress.
The teacher was extremely conscientious. She didn't buy luxury items. She drove an old car. She was just baffled by her missing money. The audit revealed a massive amount of small charges, often $3, $7, $12, sometimes $15 hitting daily. These were the coffees purchased between classes, the snacks from the faculty vending machine, and the necessary rough day treats on the commute home. We tallied over $260 worth of these charges in 1 month.
And she didn't realize the total.
Not at all. She said, I don't even remember half of these purchases. They were purely autopilot reactions to stress or hunger. The solution was not deprivation. We established a $100 guilt-free treat budget. She put this money onto a separate, dedicated, reloadable debit card. This created a defined container for her fun spending. When the $100 was gone, the container was empty.
The genius of that is that it forces her to be intentional. She has to decide, is this $5 purchase worth taking away from a future $5 purchase that might bring me more joy?
Exactly. It makes the spending visible and finite, turning an unconscious leak into a conscious decision.
Finally, we have the unused nice ideas. I think this category is the most emotionally tricky because it taps into our aspirations.
It absolutely does. We buy online courses, expensive productivity apps, or high-tier gym memberships because we are motivated and we want to improve ourselves. We are essentially investing in a future version of ourselves. But if that future self doesn't show up, we're just paying month after month for a dream that never materialized.
The pain here is that canceling feels like admitting failure or, giving up on that dream.
It does, but we have to reframe it. If you paid $30 a month for 6 months for a coding course you never logged into past lesson 1, that's $180 wasted. And the leak is based on guilt, not usage. If money is tight, you cannot afford to fund past aspirations. That money should be building your emergency buffer right now. You can always sign up again when your time and mental space allows you to dedicate energy to it.
This level of detail has made it painfully clear where the money goes. We've met the suspects. Now, we need the actual mechanism to stop them. So the goal is not to shame, but to gather data and find opportunities. That brings us to the core tool, the money leak audit. Before we get into the steps, what is the crucial difference between an audit and a full-blown budget? Because most people hear the word budget and they just shut down.
A budget feels huge because it tries to plan where every single dollar will go next month. It's predictive. The money leak audit is retrospective. It looks backward. It's a smaller, focused mission to find money you have already lost due to autopilot. You don't have to plan for next month yet. You just have to discover what happened last month.
Okay, that sounds so much less intimidating. Walk us through the step-by-step process for conducting this audit.
Let's put on our detective hats. Step 1. Gather statements for 1 to 3 months. You need actual numbers. Pull the statements from your most used accounts, your main checking account, and your primary credit card. I recommend 90 days if you can manage it, because that smooths out monthly anomalies, but even 30 days is hugely illuminating. Download them as PDFs or use the app view or print them out, whatever makes it easiest for you to interact with the data.
So we are moving beyond guessing and we're dealing with facts.
Absolutely. Step 2. Highlight recurring charges. Scan those statements and mark anything that hits every single month. Use a specific color if you print them out, or specific annotation if you're digital. Look for streaming, music, apps, cloud storage, gym fees, etc. Just the recurring items for now. Step 3. Mark all the fees. Circle, highlight, or star every single item labeled fee. Overdraft, ATM, late monthly maintenance, foreign transaction, anything that's a penalty for existing. This is often the most frustrating step, but stick with it because this money is pure loss.
This is where I can imagine people wanting to quit, because seeing the collective cost of fees can be a huge punch to the gut.
It is, but remember, you are marking the whole, not judging the jar. Okay, step 4. Spot the convenience clusters. Now we look for patterns. Scan for repeat charges from delivery apps, ride shares, takeout joints, or drive-thrus. If you see 5 charges from the same delivery service in 10 days, mark that cluster. We're looking for frequency and volume and convenience. Step 5. Notice micro spends. Look for those low-dollar, high-frequency charges, $3, $5, $7, $10, $15, that hit sporadically throughout the week. These are the spontaneous snacks, coffees, and gas station impulse buys. Just count how many times these smaller charges appear in a month. This gives you a sense of the sheer volume of mindless spending. And finally, step 6. Add up each category, roughly. This is the payoff. Now use a simple calculator or spreadsheet to total up your findings for an average month. What is your ballpark total for subscriptions? What's the total for fees? For delivery and convenience? What's the rough total for microspends? This total will show you your primary targets.
Do you have a typical anonymized example of what that final tally can look like for someone?
Yes. A very common finding for someone who's stressed and living paycheck to paycheck might look something like this. Subscriptions and memberships, maybe $75 per month. Banking and late fees, $60 per month. Delivery and convenience, $140 per month. And micro spends like coffee, snacks, impulse buys, maybe $90 per month.
That is nearly $365 a month in leaks.
Exactly. And even if we are only successful in plugging half of those, say we cut $180, that is massive financial breathing room for someone who previously felt trapped. That money changes their ability to pay the next month's rent on time or start building a debt buffer.
Okay, let's address that emotional weight again. When the listener finishes step 6 and sees that total, they might feel overwhelmed, maybe even physically ill, thinking, I wasted $4,000 this year. What's the immediate non-judgmental reframe?
The first thing is validation. Yes, that feeling of sickness or regret is completely natural. You were brave enough to look at the monster under the bed. Now you realize the monster is actually just a collection of small leaks that are fixable. You must immediately shift that internal narrative. Stop thinking, I wasted so much money, and start thinking, I just successfully found $150 a month I can redirect to something that actually matters to me.
It's a complete perspective flip. The past is data. The future is opportunity.
Let's role play that interaction just so the listener can hear the difference in tone.
Okay, I'm the person who just added up my fees and subscriptions, and I'm slumped, holding the printout. And I say, this is awful. I have 3 different streaming services, and I paid $70 in overdraft fees last month. I feel so stupid.
And I would respond calmly, stop. You are not stupid. You are a person navigating a financial system that is designed to maximize revenue from busy, stressed people. What you are holding is not a list of your failures. It's a detailed map to your financial freedom. You just found $70 that your bank was stealing from you, and now we are going to stop them. Which one of those leaks do you want to shut off first?
Wow. That immediately shifts the feeling from self-pity to action.
The leak is almost always due to systemic design or autopilot, not personal deficiency. We were adjusting the system, not fixing a broken person.
So we've done the audit, and we have our target categories. Now for the action plan. How do we sustainably plug these leaks without falling into that financial crash diet trap where we fix everything for 3 weeks and then spend even more out of exhaustion.
The key is focusing on 1 to 3 high-impact changes first and making the change easy. Let's start with the subscription reset. So, 4.1 subscription reset. You have your list of subs from the audit. First, make a comprehensive list. Confirm every single recurring charge. Second, star the must-keeps. Mark the ones you use frequently and genuinely love. Third, circle the maybes or the forgotten ones, the apps and services you use rarely or forgot about entirely. And fourth, the action. Immediately cancel the ones you circled. Don't wait until the end of the month. Cancel them right now.
What about those 3 streaming services? If you cancel 2, you might miss the one show you wanted to watch on the other platform.
That's where the rotation system comes in, and this is a really sustainable fix. Instead of paying for Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Max simultaneously, you pay for 1 or 2 at a time. Netflix in January, then you pause or cancel it and subscribe to Hulu in February. Most services make pausing or canceling incredibly easy. Just look for the button in your account settings.
So you still get the variety, but you only pay 1 or 2 monthly fees instead of 3 or 4 times that amount.
Exactly. To make this stick, use technology. Set calendar reminders or use a subscription tracking app to remind you on the 25th of the month. Time to cancel HBO and switch to Disney+. This replaces the company's automated friction with your own intentional friction.
That addresses subscriptions. Let's tackle the most painful one, fees. Overdrafts, ATM charges, late fees. How do we clean up existing fees and prevent future ones?
4.2, handling and preventing fees. First, cleanup. You absolutely should call your bank or your card company. Be polite, but be persistent.
Now, I'm going to challenge you here. Calling a bank means sitting on hold for 45 minutes explaining your life story, only be told no. Is it really worth the effort for one $35 fee?
It is, for 3 reasons. First, banks often do waive 1 or 2 fees per year as a courtesy, especially if you have a decent history. Second, if you get $35 back for 45 minutes of your time, that's an hourly rate of over $46. That's time well spent. And third, and most important, it initiates the conversation that you are an engaged customer, which often changes how they treat you in the future.
Okay, point taken. You are essentially getting paid to be polite and persistent.
Yes, and you can use the script. I've been a loyal customer for X years, and I recently had a one-time lapse that resulted in an overdraft fee. I'm actively working on managing my finances, and I was hoping you could waive this fee as a courtesy to help me get back on track. Phrase it as an earnest mistake you're actively trying to fix. Now, for prevention, there are several system adjustments you can make. 1, low balance alerts. Set these up immediately in your banking app. Set the threshold higher than you think you need, maybe $100. 2, the buffer. Immediately try to build a $50 to $100 buffer in your checking account. This is money you pretend doesn't exist, specifically to catch small purchases and prevent the first overdraft from triggering that domino effect. And 3, switching banks. If your current institution is fee-heavy monthly maintenance, minimum balance requirements, you are in a leaky jar. Research credit unions or online banks that offer genuinely no-fee checking accounts. It might take an hour of effort, but permanently eliminating fees is worth the hassle.
That's powerful. You either negotiate with the system or you move to a better system entirely. Next, let's talk about managing the costs of exhaustion. Delivery and convenience swaps.
Right. 4.3, delivery and convenience swaps. We use the cap and swap strategy. First, set a strict dollar cap. If your audit showed $140 in delivery fees and markups, cap it at $70 for the next month. Put that limit on your fridge or in a note on your phone. This cap turns mindless ordering into a conscious choice. When you hit $70, you're done. The exhaustion is still real, but now you switch to the swap options, like grocery pickup. Instead of full delivery, use grocery pickup services. They usually have a lower fee structure and eliminate the hidden markups you find on restaurant apps. Or emergency meals. Designate a freezer shelf for 3 to 5 easy, high-quality frozen or semi-homemade meals. Pasta, frozen pizza, pre-made chili. These cost a fraction of delivery and serve as your zero-effort fallback when exhaustion hits, preventing that $40 delivery order.
So you're not fighting the exhaustion. You're automating a healthy response to the exhaustion. And finally, microspends. How do we avoid the crash diet response of cutting all coffee, which inevitably leads to a massive rebound purchase?
The answer is creating fun money containers. Instead of cutting coffee completely, allocate a clear budget, say $20 or $40 a week, for all non-essential daily spending. Coffee, snacks, treats. This money is guilt-free. And the best implementation methods are physical. Use a separate debit card, or if you like the tactile approach, use cash envelopes labeled Fun Money. When you pull cash out of that envelope, you feel the friction, you see the money leave, and you are far more intentional about that $5 purchase. Once the limit is used up, that's it until the next week or pay cycle.
This keeps the joy intact while giving structure to the chaos.
Precisely. And that joy is enhanced because you know that spending isn't secretly destroying your ability to pay your rent.
One final point on those unused nice ideas. If someone is holding on to an app or a membership they aren't using, how do you empower them to cut the cord?
The single best test is the usage test. Am I using this right now? If you bought a $40 monthly membership to an advanced online tool and you haven't opened it in 60 days, cancel it. You can always resubscribe later. Don't let aspiration cost you money you need today. You're prioritizing financial stability over a hypothetical future self.
The overarching advice here is avoid the crash diet. Pick 1 or 2 high-impact leaks, maybe cancel 2 subscriptions and establish a $50 delivery cap, and just stick to those for 30 to 60 days until the new behavior feels completely normal.
Sustainability is the goal. We are building systems, not relying on willpower.
Okay, we've found the money, we've done the audit, we've made the changes, and let's assume the listener has successfully plugged $120 a month worth of leaks. Now, this is the most critical step. If you just leave that $120 sitting in your checking account, it's going to melt away like an ice cube in the sun.
It absolutely will. We have to be fiercely intentional now. Freed up money must be immediately assigned a job. Otherwise, it'll just leak out through slightly larger microspends or increased convenience purchases.
So what are the best jobs for that newly found money? What is the simple order of priority?
We prioritize defense and stability first. First job, build a tiny emergency fund. If you have no savings whatsoever, that freed up money needs to go immediately into a small buffer. I call this the financial fire extinguisher. Don't aim for 6 months of expenses. Aim for $200, $500, maybe $1,000. This is the shield that prevents the next crisis or unexpected repair from sending you back into overdraft fees. This fund protects your system from the next shock. Second job, attack high-interest debt. Once that buffer is built, any extra money should go toward credit cards or high-interest loans. When you realize that the $60 you save from canceling subscriptions can instantly reduce the balance on your credit card that's charging 25% interest, that becomes a powerful motivator. You are saving money on interest that you would have paid to the bank.
So we're prioritizing stopping future losses before we move on to bigger goals.
Exactly. Third job, fund specific goals. Once you have a buffer and you've begun tackling the high-interest debt, now we use the money for things that reduce stress or add real value. This could be building up next month's rent payment early, creating a sinking fund for expected but irregular costs like car insurance or medical bills, or saving for a valued trip.
The ultimate question of implementation, though, is how do we guarantee this actually happens? How do we prevent the money from just sitting there and checking?
Automation is your best friend here. If you found $120 in leaks, you set up an automatic transfer for $120. This should happen immediately after your primary paycheck hits. You are rerouting the river before it has a chance to spill out into licks.
So you go into your bank's transfer settings and you set up a monthly recurring transfer of $120 from checking to savings, dated for the day after payday.
Yes. Or from checking to pay an extra principal payment on your debt. This requires a one-time effort, but then it becomes the default. You won't even see the money, and your relationship with money will fundamentally change.
That mental shift is key. You are no longer wondering where the money went. You know exactly where it went. You actively chose, I canceled those apps, and that money is now paying down my high-interest debt or building my safety net. That feeling of empowerment is worth more than the $120 itself.
It creates a positive feedback loop. When you consciously choose to cancel a $15 app and you see $15 more hit your savings account via automation, the joy of saving starts to outweigh the brief convenience of a leak.
This has been a truly actionable deep dive into a very common, very stressful problem. We started with that moment of panic when the card is declined, and we defined the problem not as a moral failing, but as a system of silent money leaks. Unused subscriptions, structural fees, convenience markups, and daily microspending, all designed to siphon off your savings without triggering your conscious attention. We walked through the 6-step money leak audit gathering statements, highlighting the fees and clusters, and totaling the categories to turn regret into opportunity. And we covered sustainable fixes, the subscription reset and rotation system, calling for fee waivers, setting the delivery cap and finding smart swaps, and most importantly, giving those microspends a clear, guilt-free, fun money budget.
And we ended on the critical point. The money must have a job. We must use automation to redirect those newfound savings immediately into a tiny emergency buffer, high-interest debt payoff, or specific stress-reducing goals. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. You possess more power hidden inside your own current spending habits than you realize. You don't need a huge raise to get breathing room. You just need to start paying for things you don't care about and channel that energy toward funding the things that truly give your life stability and joy.
I love that. Let's make this actionable today. We don't want you to just feel good. We want you to do something. Here is the 3-step challenge we want you to accept today.
The 3-step challenge. Number 1, the mini money leak audit. Look at the transactions for just one account, your main checking account, over the last 30 days. Don't do all accounts, just focus on one. Number 2, find 2 or 3 leaks. Identify 2 or 3 concrete leaks. A subscription you haven't used, an ATM fee you paid, or a delivery habit that got too big, circle them. And number 3, take one concrete action today. Do one thing right now. Cancel one subscription. Email your bank about getting one fee waived, or set up a small automatic transfer, even just $25, to your savings account to match the change you are committing to.
One account, 2 or 3 leaks, one concrete action today. That small action creates massive momentum. You are choosing to stop paying for things that don't serve you and redirecting that power back to yourself.
That curiosity is your financial superpower. Use it.
Your money doesn't have to feel like it's slipping through your fingers. You can start building real breathing room and reduce that mid-month panic by finding and plugging those quiet leaks starting right now.